It was a clear, dark night, and Jack Stalwart was lying on his back, gazing at the stars. He was with his local scouts group on a camping trip in the New Forest in England. As part of the activities, his troop leader had told Jack and the other boys to observe the night sky, try to spot the constellations, and think about the possibility of life beyond planet Earth.
"Do you see that star over there?"
asked Jack's friend Richard, pointing to a brilliant white light.
"It's not a star,"
he said,
"but the International Space Station. The brightest light in the night sky."
Jack knew that Richard was right. The International Space Station, also known as the ISS, was a man-made satellite that orbited 220 miles, or 354 kilometers, above Earth. It was the biggest laboratory in the sky, where scientists carried out research on everything from cancer to how plants grow and the effects of living in space. Astronauts were constantly being ferried to and from the ISS. It took them about 2 days to get there. Once they were there, they could stay for months, and the longest any astronaut had lived on the station was 2 years. Jack knew a lot about the ISS because the GPF received daily live updates. The GPF, or Global Protection Force, was the organization that Jack worked for. He was a secret agent for them, traveling the globe to protect the world's most precious treasures. But no one knew anything about that, not even his family or his best friends. Richard and Jack continued staring at all the stars. Their other friend, Charlie, was lying beside them, making a note of the constellations they could see, like Orion.
"I can't believe we're finally going to send a human to Mars,"
said Jack. He stretched out his arms, placed his hands behind his head, and thought about how amazing it was. Tomorrow's Mars mission was all over the news. After decades of planning, a team of Americans and Russians were sending 6 astronauts, 3 men and 3 women, to the Red Planet. It would take more than a year to complete the journey, but it didn't matter how long it took. Sending a human to Mars was one of the biggest things in space history, as important as when the American astronaut Neil Armstrong walked on the moon.
"I know,"
said Charlie.
"It's incredible. I wonder what the astronauts are doing right now." "Did you know," said Jack, "that my dad's going to be there? He's going to see the rocket lift off up close."
Jack couldn't help but brag about his dad, who was an aerospace engineer. During his career, he'd helped design some American spy satellites and parts of the International Space Station. Since moving to England, Jack's father only worked on special projects. A few years ago, he'd been awarded the job of designing the Mars spacecraft itself. He was in Russia right now, supervising the final details before the rocket was launched.
"That's what I want to be when I'm older," said Charlie.
"An aerospace engineer?" asked Jack, still thinking about his dad.
"No, you silly," said Charlie. "An astronaut."
"You an astronaut?" said Richard, teasing Charlie. "You don't have what it takes."
"Yes, I do," said
Charlie.
"You watch,"
he told them.
"I'm going to be the first person to..."